Happening now, crews have determined what ignited a fire that burned unnoticed for nearly 8 hours. And we check in with Representative Tom Reed following the Ukrainian president's address to Congress. Plus, Jamestown High School's men's basketball team, they're headed to the state championships. A look at the send-off today.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. A lot of local news coming up, but first, let's get a check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by live with that. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Dakota, and it seems like the luck of the Irish really playing into today's weather.
Yes, it is. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you out there. Hope you have a fantastic day, and of course, if you are going to be drinking today, do what, do what Tracy Bird says. Do the watermelon crawl.
Yeah, don't drink and drive.
If you drink, don't drive. Do the watermelon crawl.
Good advice.
Here's the Mayville Skycam showing you nothing but blue sky, and we do okay, I lied. There is a little cloud right here, but other than that, it's blue sky. And you can see on the satellite imagery, we are going to have some high clouds rolling in through the afternoon hours late this afternoon, but man, it is a gorgeous day. 61 was the high yesterday. We started the day at 43, and I do think we are going to go much warmer than that. A great supply of sunshine, very warm, high clouds later on in the afternoon hours. This 53 is right at the Lake Erie shoreline to 70, well inland away from that lake influence with a southwest wind 6 to 12. Now, temperatures do kind of moderate a little bit. Then the weekend looking wet. We'll talk about it in detail, that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota, we'll see you back in a bit. Fire investigators have determined what sparked a west side blaze at a Jamestown home yesterday. A fire that likely burned without notice for 8 hours. Battalion Chief Roger Siguler tells us an overloaded electrical circuit in the basement is blamed for the blaze at 39 Pennsylvania Avenue. That fire, Siguler says, likely burned for nearly 8 hours after the homeowner left around 9 in the morning, with those in the neighborhood reporting they smelled smoke throughout the day. Fire crews responded to the location around 5 o'clock after a next-door neighbor heard an explosion, a window which failed to hold to the pressure caused by the slow-burning blaze. When crews got to the scene, the chief says they encountered intense heat caused by that fire.
For us, any working fire, you're looking at temperatures from anywhere from 800 to 1200 degrees for a burning fire. So it's quite intense, and it banks its way down to the floor. So at the ceiling, it might be 800 degrees, but if they're crawling around on the floor, it's still going to be well over 400.
Now, after making entry into that home, knocking down the flames and venting the structure, the fire was extinguished. As for the extent of damage, Siguler reports repairs could be made. However, some of the floor might have been weakened. No injuries reported to the home's sole occupant or the dog that was relaxing in a backyard fenced area. And a Dodge Durango allegedly stolen by 2 Buffalo area residents has been recovered. Schultz Resale Center of Dunkirk first reported this vehicle missing on Tuesday around noon when 2 people did not return and ignored the dealership's calls. In a post on social media, management posted security camera images of the pair, identified as John Schmolak and his girlfriend Tina Bolf. Since then, the vehicle is located. However, police have yet to find the pair. Anyone with information on their whereabouts is asked to contact police in Dunkirk. And 2 people fleeing police were seriously hurt following a crash during a vehicle pursuit. The Lakewood Bust-Eye Fire Department was responding to the area of West 4th Street and Dunham Avenue in Celeron this past Saturday. The department says a vehicle fleeing arrest lost control and went off the roadway. Both occupants suffered serious injuries and were extricated from that vehicle. Both were taken to the hospital via ambulance. One headed to UPMC Hammett, the other to UPMC Chautauqua. It's unclear what led to the police pursuit. However, the department says Jamestown, Ellicott, and Lakewood police departments, along with the county sheriff's office and Celeron Fire Department, also responded to the scene. Representative Tom Reed is reacting to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's address to Congress, saying the United States should consider additional steps to help the war-torn nation. Reed spoke during his weekly media call yesterday, saying Zelensky's petition for assistance was heartbreaking and powerful. When it comes to military fly zone restrictions, he says if the U.S. were to take action, they would need to work alongside their allies.
When it comes to things like fly zones, when it comes to things like even men and women of American military having to be put in potential harm's way, to me that's the last resort, and it is something I'm not advocating for, but it is something that needs to be kept in the toolbox so that we can keep our enemies guessing and that we can make them hopefully make a calculated decision that escalation is something Russia, wants to avoid.
Now, furthermore, Reid wants Congress to draw up more sanctions against Russia, targeting oligarchs and those who support Russian President Vladimir Putin. And for the first time in 8 years, the Jamestown High School basketball team, they're headed off to the New York State Championships held in Glen Falls, New York. Our Bronson Rasmussen was on hand this morning for the send-off.
Head basketball coach Ben Drake and his team were cheered on by the students and faculty of JHS as they walked throughout the school towards the bus on Thursday morning.
Oh man, today's a special day. It's a blessing. In over 100 years of Jamestown basketball, this is only the third team to advance to the state Final Four.
The hope is for the team to get the championship and show off Jamestown's Raider pride.
Oh man, I can't even imagine. It would be craziness. Just to think of the bringing a state championship home would be pretty special. Obviously for these players, but also for their families and the school and the community.
Drake is excited for his team and wants to do more than just participate.
We're not happy just to be there. We're going down there to win.
The plan for the players is to prepare for their semifinal match against Green Tech from Albany on Friday night.
Well, we're going to get there and practice. Tomorrow we'll get prepared to play, and tomorrow night we play in the semifinals against Green Tech.
With a win, they'll play in the state championship on Saturday night. Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. Looks like a lot of fun there, and go Raiders. As WNY News Now continues, we get a look at how a new Omicron variant now causing concerns. We check in with local health leaders in our region. And later, the significance of all the green folks are sporting today. But first, stay with us as WNY News Now will be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And just as we're taking off our masks and trying to move on from COVID-19, a subvariant of the virus now spreading across the world. So, should this be a cause for concern here locally? Erie News Now's Kristen Allen has more.
BA2, also known as stealth Omicron, is on the rise around the world, with Omicron making up the majority of new COVID-19 cases in the United States.
It's circulated in the United States for some time. We've been watching it closely, of course.
In China, they're seemingly back to square one, with lockdowns, mass testing, and self-isolation. Should we be concerned here in the U.S. as Americans are taking their masks off?
I think it's just a moment to pause and kind of pay attention, but not stress out and not, go back to like, oh, we all need to isolate and, we have so much to fear. We're not in that space right now.
Epidemiologist Dr. Becky Dawson says for now, BA2 is just something public health officials are keeping an eye on. And we can't compare our country to China because they operate on a zero COVID policy.
Public health leadership here in the United States has really said, okay, zero COVID is not possible. But what we want to do is keep people from dying. We want to keep people out of the hospitals. And we want to ensure that, we don't have lots and lots of community spread.
People who are vaccinated, plus people who have recently had the virus, are building immunity for our area.
It seems to be highly transmissible, but it's not causing severe illness. So I think that is really encouraging for the vast majority of us, especially those of us that are vaccinated or have recently had a COVID infection.
Kristen Allen, Erie News Now.
Kristen, thank you. And Governor Kathy Hochul has signed a series of bills today addressing sexual harassment in the workplace. She signed one bill that will provide a toll-free confidential hotline which people can call regarding complaints of workplace sexual harassment. She also announced all state and public employers will now be subject to human rights law. Hochul signed the measures, which are designed for people to work in a safe environment.
We send our daughters off for an education and trying to integrate into society. They have to be in this environment where there's date rape and harassment, and they have to sit with their classmates. Someone who harassed them or raped them or attacked them the night before, they have to still sit in class with them because there are no laws to protect those young women. That has changed as well.
And the final bill the governor signed will prohibit retaliation actions by employers against employees who would to make complaints. The Sherman High School girls basketball team had an issue finding a charter bus to take them to their state tournament game this weekend. As Erie News Now's Keelan Berrien reports, they have to drive about 5 hours to that game in Troy, New York, but don't know how they're going to do it.
Some of that's my fault because I'm a superstitious guy and I didn't want to look ahead.
That's Corey Emery, the athletic director for Sherman High School. It's been difficult for him finding transportation to the state championship game for the girls basketball team.
I've called basically every charter company pretty much within about a 2-hour radius or even more from Sherman.
The problem is the NCAA men's basketball tournament is in Buffalo this week. Buffalo-based DNF Services says they have the buses to help, but there's something else keeping them from taking the girls to Troy, New York.
We are terribly short on motor coach operators, on bus drivers.
They've been facing the shortage since the start of the pandemic. At one point, the company had to shut down. This made some of their drivers find work elsewhere, and some aged out.
Well, we do have more than a couple local high schools going to the state championship on our buses. However, with the lack of planning and knowing whether a school is going to be able to make it, they can't book too far in advance.
The school tried to reach out to services in Pennsylvania, but state regulations stopped them. The normal school bus is always an option, but Emery and the coaches wanted to reward the girls with the coach bus for their hard work. Plus, Superintendent Danielle O'Connor says she needs the buses for school.
That's our last option, and we have that in place. If not, but past precedent, any other teams that have gone to the state semifinals or finals have always taken a charter bus.
Keelan Berrien, Erie News Now.
All right, Keelan, thank you. Now, some good news. Around 3 o'clock yesterday, a parent of a student athlete told us that they were able to find a chartered bus. Certainly so exciting. Well, today is St. Patrick's Day. It's a time when many Americans will be celebrating their Irish heritage, or pretend to do so anyways. About 33 million Americans self-identify as being of Irish ancestry, but according to U.S. Census data, that's 5 times the number of people on the actual island of Ireland, by the way. The traditional wearing of green and joining in the revelry will pick back up again this year with the easing of many COVID restrictions. There are normally hundreds of parades across the U.S. to celebrate, so are back, others are not. But regardless of whether you're going to celebrate with a Guinness and some corned beef and cabbage at home, enjoy the day. March 17th marks the assumed date of St. Patrick's death. That's 1,500 years ago. Now, the legend that St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland is probably a myth, but he's credited with bringing Christianity to that Emerald Isle. Certainly a lot of fun there, and we'll have some good festivities this weekend here locally. Coming up, President Biden claiming that the Russian leader Vladimir Putin is a war criminal, the latest in that conflict. And later, Jamestown High School's musical, they're set to bring Fiddler on the Roof to life this weekend, all at an iconic time. Hear what they'll be donating to help in the Ukrainian effort. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast. Stay with us on this beautiful St. Paddy's Day.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everyone, and wanted to mention something very quickly. Now, can we take Justin's camera for a second? Because if you notice, Justin is wearing a green shirt for St. Patrick's Day. And actually, much of the staff today is wearing green. So you might be looking at me, if we can thank you very much, why I don't wear green. Well, let me show you the reason why meteorologists do not wear green when we are doing the weather up on the chroma key wall. This is, well, it doesn't really key in very well. But you can kind of...
Our wall's pretty good then.
Yeah, because, you know, this is a green shirt, but, there it goes. You can kind of see it keying in.
What happens if I come up?
Yeah.
I know we don't have much time for your
Come on
segment,
in, Justin.
There you go. Yeah.
See, this is what happens when...
Yeah,
dun, da, da,
here we are.
Dun, da, da. Anyway, so this is what happens when you
I
wear green.
am the leprechaun.
Yes, he is the dancing leprechaun. So that's the reason why meteorologists don't wear green on the green walls. So that's why I can't wear green. Anyway, speaking about this, we wanted to go back and look at the past 5 years for St. Patrick's Day. And believe it or not, this year is really going to be one of the best we've had. Just last year, it was 58. But notice the last 4, we were in the 30s to lower 40s. So this is the best one we have had in at least the past 5 years. Lots of sunshine downtown. Jamestown 59 as a noon hour with a light south wind. And across the region, it's 58 in Randolph, 60 in Clymer, already 67 in Dunkirk, 64 in Erie. And these temperatures are going to continue to rise through the 60s as we go throughout the afternoon hours today. But the temperatures continue to stay warm for tomorrow. We're down to 63 tomorrow. Now, Saturday, that 57 does come with some rain showers through the day on Saturday, 45 on Sunday. And again, we go back to around a seasonable feel as we start early next week. High pressure still kind of moving on out, but this is the next storm system we're watching, that cold front, and that's going to sweep by here through the night on Friday. So future scan not really showing you anything for today. Lots of sunshine in for this St. Patrick's Day, and it will remain that way through tonight. Mainly clear skies through the overnight tonight. Tomorrow will be another gorgeous day, but I do think clouds will start to come our way later in the day, so it'll be more cloudy Friday afternoon. Then as the cold front crosses, we are going to see some rain showers coming our way Friday night, and then this is going to continue through the day on Saturday. So if you are coming downtown for the Turn the River Green festivities here in downtown Jamestown, will be in the lower 50s, but it will be wet with widespread rain showers. I know there will be a rumble of thunder, but at least it's not cold and snowing. So there's that. So the next 7 days are coming up, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So there you see again, 63 tomorrow, 57 on Saturday with the rain. Spring officially arrives on Sunday, 45. Another sunny day coming up on Monday, 51. A few more clouds Tuesday. And then we go back into a few more rain showers for next Wednesday, Justin.
Oh, Dakota, bearer of the rain. But hey, you know what? We'll have to take what we can. Just get the umbrellas. And if you don't want to go out, watch us live. All around the nation now, after more than 3 decades, an unreleased Prince album will now soon see the light of day. The late singer-songwriter recorded Carmi in 1986, which portrayed a female alter ego named after his title. Well, after recording that, it was shelved, although some bootleg copies did make it to auction later on. There are 8 songs on this album. All of them were put out on B-sides of singers and movie soundtracks, but this will be the first time they've been officially part of his work. The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates for the first time since 2018. The increase is 0.25% of a point. It comes as soaring inflation across America, but Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the economy is in a good place after the pandemic.
The time for rate increases and for shrinking the balance sheet has come. And I would just say, I would go back to the economy is very strong. As I mentioned, tremendous momentum in the labor market. We expect growth to continue. It's clearly time to raise interest rates and begin the balance sheet shrinkage.
Now, Powell says the central bank will likely raise interest rates 6 times this year. A rise in interest rates means it's more expensive to borrow. So mortgages, home equity lines of credit, credit cards, student debt, car loans, and business loans will all cost more. Russian forces are ramping up and unleashing furious and lethal attacks across Ukraine. New and disturbing images are now revealing the horror civilians are facing as they become the victims of relentless Russian attacks. Those brutal images now have President Biden labeling Russian President Vladimir Putin a war criminal. Cole Higgins with the latest.
The bodies of innocent people strewn across the sidewalk in Chernihiv, Ukraine, killed by a Russian rocket while they were waiting in line for bread. Flames rage and black smoke billows from a bombed theater where hundreds were taking refuge in Mariupol. Their fate is unknown. The word children was spelled out in Ukrainian on both sides of the theater before the bombing, satellite images show. About 2.5 miles away, a public swimming pool also being used as a civilian shelter has been hit by a Russian military strike.
It is a crime to intentionally target civilians. It is a crime to intentionally target civilian objects. We have reasonable grounds to believe crimes within the jurisdiction of the court are being committed.
As blood spills, lives are lost, and cities are mercilessly destroyed across Ukraine, President Biden now says Russian President Vladimir Putin is committing war crimes.
I think he is a war criminal.
The president's remarks speak for themselves. He was speaking from his heart and speaking from what he's seen on television, which is barbaric actions by a brutal dictator through his invasion of a foreign country.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now. It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The musical theater classic Fiddler on the Roof by Joseph Sten will be performed at Jamestown High School this weekend, with part of the admission proceeds donated to the Ukrainian relief effort. Our Julia Gress with a preview of the performance.
The musical's director, Lauren Scharf, said students are thrilled to retake the stage, as this is the first full-scale performance since the pandemic.
It takes place in a little town of Anatevka in the year 1905, and the story is centered around Tevye, the dairyman, and his 5 daughters, and it really chronicles the story of the traditions that exist within their towns and how they are broken over the course of the show.
Over 60 JHS students are involved in the production, from the pit orchestra to stage crew to the cast. Junior Madeline DeJoy, who plays Tevye's wife Gold, and senior Camden Austin, who plays Lazar Wolf, are amongst those taking the stage.
Practice schedule is very lengthy and can be stressful at moments, but it is a very fun experience.
Being back to full-scale production has also spurred the cast to make the most of this year's musical.
Both of our first JHS musicals were shut down with Once Upon a Mattress in 2020. This is our debut for a real JHS musical, and it's really amazing that we get to put this on, finally.
Junior Evan Corey, who manages sound for the show, explained that there is more going on behind the scenes than the audience may expect.
Working with a budget this small is working with different styles of mics, where some of them are from here, some of them are from Little Theater, some of them are from other schools, and the way that each one is managed is a lot different, and the information displayed is a lot different.
Ticket proceeds go towards funding next year's musical, as well as a special cause.
However, this year we are donating some of our proceeds to Save the Children and the Ukraine Relief Fund, since there is such a tie to our musical with what is actually happening in the Ukraine and in Russia right now.
Throughout the show, the presence of Imperial Russia and Tsar Nicholas II are in the spotlight. The Jewish characters live in shelts owned by the government, where they are never truly free. For DeJoy, the parallels to current events are unsettling.
I find it really important to do this musical at this time, and it was really important for us to help teach the younger students and everyone else in the cast about what's happening in Ukraine.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Performances are scheduled for tonight, Friday, and Saturday at 7 o'clock, with a Saturday performance at 2 o'clock as well in the JHS Auditorium. The community can buy general admission tickets for $8 at the door or online at r.show/jhsmusical.com. We have a link on our site as well. Really, I think incredible, Dakota, when you look at how far that we've come during all of this COVID stuff. The kids are back on the stage, being able to perform. And then their show also has a little more meaning of it, too, where they're giving back to some of these world events that as Julia mentioned, has an eerily similar parallel to what happened in that screenplay. So it's really, really incredible, and good for those kids for rallying and having their director take that on. So.
I mean, I never did anything in high school in terms of play, but I do remember when I was at Love School back around the turn of the century, we did a small little play, and I was in it.
Yeah,
and
I'd like to see that. Is that on video recording?
I don't know if anybody's got video of that or not, but you know, we're talking around like 2000.
I'll have to hit up Mama Hunter
or something. Phones like this didn't exist back then. So.
We'll leave you with a shot over Chautauqua Lake. Have a great day.